What is going on, everybody? It's me, Yanni from Yanni's Nerdverse, and today is a great day because Rataalada.com was updated, which, by the way, the answers to those riddles are Ha, Joker, and Punchline. But it's a great day because the reward we get for solving those riddles was this clip from The Batman, a deleted scene featuring Barry Keoghan's Joker and the Batman himself, Robert Pattinson, interrogating one another in Arkham Asylum. And this clip is so good. I'm actually glad it was deleted, but itself is just such a great and amazing scene, and I'll talk about all that later. Along with this clip, because of Matt Reeves, you know some small details about the Joker's backstory in this universe. This version of the Joker is inspired by Conrad Veidt's character in The Man Who Laughs, and this Joker didn't get his big smile because of some sort of scars or knife damage or a vat of acid. The reason he has this sort of big smile on his face is because of an old skin disease that he got when he was born, and he's lived with this all of his life, and it sort of traumatized him. People, he was bullied by it, and it sort of shaped him and turned him into this dark figure. But if you do want the Joker to fall in the vat of acid, there is still some hope, but I'll talk about that more later in the video. The other thing to point out is that this Joker has met Batman before, and they already have a relationship. And that being, we even tell in the scene because Joker tells Batman, oh, it's almost our anniversary. And that's because Batman met this Joker in Batman Year 1. Of course, this movie takes place in Year 2 of Batman's career. And that's also really cool because that means that Joker met Batman for the first time pretty close to the anniversary of the Wayne's killings as well. Just further showing how deeply connected Batman and Joker are. But now let's talk about the clip itself. So this takes place in the movie somewhere between when the Commissioner is dead and before the funeral scene. And Batman here goes to the Joker because he wants to ID the Riddler. And it seems that this Joker has a sort of Hannibal Lecter type of role where he's a sort of criminal mastermind, even though he's insane, but he understands the criminal mind so well. So Batman brings him all this information and asks the Joker, who is the Riddler? What can you tell me about him? What do you know about him? And what I love about this scene is that the entire time you can tell Joker has the upper hand. Batman needs something, Joker has information, and he's playing with him the entire time. He's making the funny jokes about the anniversary. He's asking him, oh, what do you think I'm gonna do this for free? All this sort of stuff, trying to get an emotional reaction out of Batman. Joker is in full control during this scene. And speaking of, until the very end of this clip, Joker is fully obscure the entire time. But we do get a fairly good look at him even though that's happening. We can see the giant big red smile on his face. His skin does look a little bit bleached, and of course, his skin is all bubbly and like scarred, as well as his hair is just completely falling out, but it's also green. This is what my theory is. Yes, his entire life he had this sort of skin condition which made him have a smile on his face forever. But I think it is possible that because of Batman, he found sort of acid in his chemicals, and that bleached his skin, made his hair fall out, maybe even did turn it green, and that's why he does look even more disfigured besides just the big smile on his face. So it could be a mix between the two. But that's just me speculating. It's entirely possible that his skin condition causes hair to fall out and make it green and make his skin look the way it does. It's entirely possible. But because it does look all bubbly and very disfigured like that, I do think it's possible the acid did happen in this universe. And actually, this Joker, speaking of the acid, does look really similar to the Joker in Gotham. Which that being the final evolution of that character after he did fall in the acid and comes back when Bruce turns into Batman. And Barry Keoghan is just nailing this role. All his mannerisms and his dialogue all together come to form with just, to me, just feels like the comic Joker brought to life. Yes, he doesn't look like the Joker with the fancy suit and the clear skin and all that stuff, but he just feels like the Joker, and that's what you gotta do with an interpretation. You can change how it looks and feels in a certain way, but as long as it feels like the core character, that's what's most important. And you can see the Joker is really amused by the Riddler's killings and completely understands the Riddler himself. He completely psychoanalyzes him and gets everything right. He knows he has a personal connection to this case, that it goes back to when he was a child as well, and that there's all this stuff. He gets everything right and fully psychoanalyzes the Riddler. Just showing again how smart the Joker is, even in his insanity. He gets he's trying to send a message, and then it's more than just political, it's also personal. And as he's giving Batman more information, Batman is just becoming more talkative and more intrigued by the Joker, just becoming more enveloped in this conversation because Joker is giving him what he wants. But that's when Joker sort of switches it and starts to pull Batman in and trying to tear him down a little bit. Because then he starts talking about the connections between Riddler and Batman and how they're essentially the same characters, they're both motivated by very similar things, but they're going about it two different ways. And then the Joker starts to analyze Batman, saying all these things like, oh, you actually believe in what the Riddler is doing, you guys are so very similar, you guys are doing the exact same things, you're the same people. And then the Joker gives the great line of, oh, you think these people deserved it. All the people that the Riddler are killing and all the people who have been murdered, you, Batman, you actually agree with the Riddler, because these people you think deserve to die because they're all completely criminals. And that really rocks Batman to his core, because Batman in this film the entire time does struggle with this, because yes, Riddler is killing all these people, but they're all criminals, they're all very bad people. And Batman is fighting these internal demons where yes, he won't kill, he doesn't want to kill anybody, but does he feel bad when these bad people are murdered? And more to that point, I love this one scene where Joker's like, let's cut the BS, okay? Why'd you come to me? Why'd you actually come to me? You've seen the file, you know all this stuff that I'm telling you pretty much. What do you want from me? What do you want me to tell you? And essentially, Batman's kind of hoping that Joker tells him something else about the Riddler, that, oh, no, he's not the same as you, because this whole time Batman is thinking, I inspired the Riddler. Him and I have the same sort of motives. We're fighting for the same sort of thing. Everyone in the universe is also telling Batman this, and Batman sees this himself. So he's very torn, and he's hoping that Joker just tells him something else. And Joker even calling them both masked Avengers really does affect Batman. In this entire film, Batman doesn't know if he's making a difference in Gotham. And the fact that he might have inspired a serial killer is not good news for his mental health. It disturbs him that the impact he might have on Gotham is inspiring serial killers, causing crimes, not stopping it. And here we get two great looks at him, both at his eyes and his skin as well as his mouth. And actually, this one Twitter user, I'll put the photo up here, sort of pieced them together what Barry Keoghan's Joker might look like. And this is true. I mean, the prosthetics in this movie are amazing. Colin Farrell's Penguin is amazing too, but just look at the Joker. He looks terrifying here. Which also, people are already joking like, why the heck would Harley Quinn fall in love with the Joker? Like how crazy does she have to be to fall in love with that? It's pretty funny. I enjoy it. I'm actually really curious if we will see Harley Quinn down the line. I think it's possible, but it all depends if like down the line they want to take the spotlight off of Margot Robbie, because she really is the definitive Harley Quinn in most people's eyes, so they might not want to introduce Harley Quinn if they don't have to. And then Joker leaves the Batman with those final words of, you're terrified that he's not wrong, that all these people that he's killing deserves to die. Going back to the idea that Batman is so conflicted here, because yes, all these people are being murdered and are dying, but they're also criminals and the worst of the worst, people who have taken advantage of the system and taken advantage of people. And then it ends with Barry Keoghan's great Joker laugh. It sounds amazing here, almost better than it does in the Arkham Asylum scene that we see in the movie, but just it sounds so good here, and Joker looks great. Barry Keoghan's might be one of the best Jokers we're gonna get, and I cannot wait to see what he does in the future too. Now at the beginning of the video, I said I understand why it was cut. Now, why do I actually think that? This scene is great. Barry Keoghan goes off, so does Robert Pattinson. There's great dialogue, great atmosphere. This scene is so well done. It has nothing to do with the quality of this scene, because I think it's amazing. The problem is, it's really in your face. It's telling you all the themes and the moral of the movie, more in a telling way than a showing way. It tells you about the Riddler's backstory. It tells you about Batman's internal conflict, all that stuff. All that stuff that you get from the movie itself, but the movie doesn't necessarily tell you, it shows you. Of course, in English class, we've all heard, show, don't tell. Through your story, you're supposed to show all these sort of ideas. Don't just physically say, oh, the moral of the story is blank. Like here, he very much says the Riddler's motives, who he is as a person, why he's doing what he's doing. And same with the Batman. What are his internal demons? Why does he feel that way? What's his conflict? Joker is just saying all these things. Versus in the movie, where we sort of understand that by Batman's actions and all the events of the film. So for that reason, it was cut, and I completely understand it, and I think it is very justified. But I'm really glad it was released, because like I said, it is an amazing scene, and I cannot wait to see where Joker pops up next. Is it going to be the Arkham Asylum show? Is it the Batman 2? Frankly, I think the Joker will be a side character for a while, and maybe being the main villain in Batman 3 or 4 or 5, depending on how many they do, because frankly, I'll take 10 of these movies. But I do think he'll be a side character for the most part, building up for a while. But that's pretty much it. The movie releases on HBO Max in like 20 days or so. So I'll be covering the movie in full, Easter eggs, breakdowns, and details when the movie releases there. So I have the actual footage to analyze for you guys. So if you want all that stuff, I do hope you subscribe and stick around. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.